Marianne Kraft talks a lot about gifts. This being the Christmas season, you might think she was referring to the dozens of presents wrapped in holiday paper and stuffed into gift bags that take up a good chunk of space just inside St. Athanasius School in the Bronx. Not necessarily. There are gifts aplenty, but not for the 300 children who attend this Catholic school in Hunts Point where she is principal, and where I attended first grade. They are care packages for disabled, impoverished adults in a nursing home in New Rochelle, over the border in Westchester County, who need basics like toiletries, sweaters, razors, or blouses. They were donated by the families of students at the school, which has stood firm in this area through the fires and crime of the 1970s right up through today, where new homes and new neighbors occupy once ravaged blocks. People here live modest lives, yet they are ready to share the greatest gift, love. It's simple, it's nothing, Ms. Kraft said of the Westchester-bound presents. But who remembers these people? They're estranged from their own families. There was an 8th grader once, Adam, who went with me to hand them out. He had a funny look on his face, so I asked if he was okay. He said, "That man there is my uncle." His family had no idea this man was there. I'd like to say everything ended up hunky-dory, but that's not how the world works. Ms. Kraft, 73, speaks like someone who is both grounded in urban reality and guided by a higher calling. She started out as a Sister of Charity, the religious order that established the school in a tiny brick building in 1913, then moved to a larger, modern structure in 1965. She arrived in 1972 from Mount Kisco to teach English and art around the same time she left the order. For someone who grew up in Long Island, it was an awakening. In every sense, I didn't know anything about the area, she said. All I knew was it seemed like a lot of people. A lot. There were people looking out the windows. Crowded apartments. And the kids grabbed me. They grabbed my heart. The area's decline was merciless. Buildings slowly lost residents, then were stripped and torched, though not always in that order. Entire blocks became brickyards. Gangs and crime swept through. Ms. Kraft stopped driving to school after a while since she grew weary of replacing stolen mirrors and hubcaps. Along this blighted landscape, parents walked children home wearing big buttons proclaiming Safeway as both warning to thugs and an incantation to the Almighty. Not surprisingly, students often wanted to stay late after school. These kids weren't going to Girl Scouts, ballet or horseback riding, Ms. Kraft said. We were it. It was more than necessary for us to be here. These kids needed adults who would stand by them and who were not going to run away. Many others did flee, including families who were active in the school and parish. The school shrank, but its mission grew. We had a community of purpose in the school, she said. Teachers who came here knew why they were here. They weren't worried about your car. You couldn't be obsessed with other stuff. You have the kid in front of you who just lost his house, lost his family, and they kept showing up. They had horror stories. So whatever we could do, it was clear these kids needed us. The neighborhood's fortunes have turned around with new homes and residents. St. Athanasius has also rebounded, becoming part of an independent network of parochial schools managed by the Partnership Schools, which introduced a new curriculum and provides support for teacher development, scholarships, and building renovations. And now, the partnership has helped prepare Jessica Aber take over when Ms. Kraft retires at the end of the academic year. This year's Christmas pageant at the school is her last after a 45-year run. And while it may be bittersweet, she betrayed no sadness. As classes of students took the stage for songs in English and Spanish, Ms. Kraft made a few quick remarks to the audience. God is here, chief among them, then slipped to the back, where she greeted teachers, parents, and patrons with a smile or a hand on their arm as she leaned in close. I taught most of these people, she said as she surveyed the crowd. Even some of the grandparents. Shortly, it was time for Mary, Joseph, as well as assorted shepherds, angels and magi, to take the stage. Ms. Kraft helped a few straighten out their costumes, then guided them through the crowd up to the stage. She then ducked off to the side to watch. Afterward, in her office, she still had a dreamy look as she recalled the moment. She was thinking of a child, and not just the one in the manger. I've always loved Christmas, she said. I love seeing all the kids. If we can just believe how much we're loved. All these hopes. All these dreams. All this love. That's what Christmas is about. Every kid has so much potential.